Howdy folks, and welcome to volume 4 or episode 4 of these freebies here for my Patreon. What I'd like to talk about in this little lesson is landing notes. Basically what that means is it's the way that you're going to wind up ending your phrase. For these examples, let's stay in E, and we're going to use primarily 3 different shapes. So we're going to kind of think E here, this shape here, so I'll show you all over the neck. And then it repeats up here. But I'm just going to show you 3. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible. What am I talking about here? So let me give you a couple examples. Is you can kind of tell when people don't really know too much about like chord tones and whatnot is when they continually land on the tonic, and that might be a lick like those are the safest ones. That's the tonic note. So that's going to be E. So the chord is made up of E, G sharp, and B. Just the triad for the E chord. So you're going to see that a lot. Like it's a nice, safe way of playing. What are some other options for landing notes? And keep in mind, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. We're talking about the end, you know, like what's at the end of that phrase. It's a landing note. It's a note that's going to kind of create a little bit of resolve. That's why playing over E works out very nicely. The only thing is there are other options. So let's explore some other options on ways of doing it. I don't have tab for any of this stuff. Just kind of you've got to as you go through your licks, the best way to do is just the last note that you play, say what note is that over what chord. It helps you also think about your intervallic patterns, and without going down a huge theory rabbit hole, let's just talk about notes, okay? And I'm going to show you 3 common ones, and then I'm going to show you some other ones that are a little bit more fun and a little bit more colorful. So I'm just making these licks up on the spot. So we already played E, nice and safe. Okay, what are some other ones? Let's end on G sharp, the next one in tertiary order, meaning it's the next note in the chord. So we're going to do G sharp. So something that I might wind up doing. So we're ending on the 3rd of the chord. So something that's a little bit different. Still super safe, always has a nice resolve. Sometimes you're going to hear this in chords a lot. I kind of sussed it right there. So that you can use open strings. You can use bends. A bend that might be kind of cool is maybe something like this. Notice that I ended on that G sharp right there. So that's another type of landing note that you can wind up doing, and they're all over the place. All you got to do is, okay, we got a G sharp here, we got a G sharp here, G sharp here, G sharp here. They're everywhere. So just kind of pick a couple of notes, start out with simple lines, just like what I'm doing here, and then that 3rd is always going to be nice and safe. They're all over the place, that's what I'm getting at. So there's 3 predominant shapes that you're going to think about for E. Start to experiment with different ways to end your phrase. So we've done E, we've done G sharp. Next in the case is going to be B, as in boy. So that's going to be the 5th. That B note, it's everywhere. They're everywhere on the neck. So depending on where you are, don't create big jumps. Try to use in block type of areas of the neck. You know, maybe some between 1 and 4, 5 to 9, 9 to 12, and then it repeats. That's kind of the way that I think about it. So if I were to do a line and I wanted to end on B now, now you can do different starting notes as well, but for this lesson, let's just focus on how we're ending it. Still pretty safe. It has more of an open type of vibe to it. Sometimes what's nice is to start adding chromaticism where you're going to work your way into it. So you're playing that flat 5 into the 5. All these licks are ending on the 5. Bending notes up too, bending into it. That's an option as well. Those are all just little great ways of practicing when you wind up working on different ways of getting around, making it sound good. Those are the 3 safe ones. Let's take a look at a flat 7. How about that? Because we do a lot of dominant 7th. So that's going to be the 4th note in this. That's got a nice little amount of tension in there. So as you wind up coming up with parts, all ending on D. So you get this type of sound. So some other landing notes that are going to be really cool that I'll explore in another video are going to be the following, is 6s. So you're going to be playing a C sharp over an E. This is where it gets really fun. You get this type of sound. So you're kind of almost like, think of it as kind of like a pentatonic. Notice every note that I'm landing on is going to be a C sharp. It makes your lines a little bit more interesting. The last one is going to be an F sharp, and you can also vice versa. You can start things with the same note and then end them as well. So it's like just playing a Rubik's Cube with all these different note choices, and that's going to be F sharp. Almost think of it as like an E9. Now that's going to be a little bit tricky because you're just a full step away. So you have to see what happens with the next chord. If you're going to a 4 chord, keep in mind we're only working with 1 chord. That's a lot of different stuff that you can have fun with and just experiment with. So just literally have a track of only playing 1 chord and start to experiment with and check what the last note is. E, G sharp, B, then add D. Then add C sharp and experiment with F sharp. That's 6 different options that you can do over just 1 chord to make your line sound a little bit better. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you soon.